Good morning, good evening, good afternoon. Welcome to another scene for the living world of darkness, rage across New York. Wherein, on the Sept of the Green, we are set at the Seeker's Cabin, where after a triumphant return, there has been much grateful embracing of those who went on this so-called suicide mission. There has been some celebration. There's doubtless been drinks and smoking and all sorts of good fun stuff. And hey, even the Metis who is in trouble gets hugs because everyone's happy because we're all still alive. Always good. And sooner or later it would get to that point, that fairly late point, where after 10 Point has played out her Twilight song on the violin, she'd come inside and, with or without guidance, would meander into Aiden's room. Because, well, that's where she sleeps now. And she'd, let's face it, would, unless Aiden was in there from the get-go, would probably come in and plunk down, not on the bed, but kind of at the foot of it, leaning back, and have herself a smoke with the window cracked open.
When she walks in, she actually finds Aiden standing there by the window, staring out. Probably actually doing the same thing she had intended of doing.
And she'll, in that case, she'll take pause, because celebration has been good. But she knows damn well that she has made at least one mistake today. So there'll be that brief hesitation at the door, like maybe wait.
Seems to just be, it doesn't even notice that you've opened the door, really. It just seems to be staring out. You see puffs of smoke, obviously. He doesn't look like miserable or anything. He just seems kind of a sort of deep contemplation, I would say.
And so she'll take a moment and steel herself. Gingerly will shut the door behind her. And we'll go back to pulling out a cigarette as she, instead of having to walk through him to get to the cracked window, will clamber over the bed and end up perched on the other side of it.
Eventually, you see the head shift as, a waft of smoke inhales through his nose. He does that weird thing that 10 Point thinks is so fancy.
It's so fancy.
Hello. Hiya. Just steal myself away for a bit.
And she gives a light nod. Goes ahead and, seeing as she hasn't been shooed immediately, will light her cigarette. And adopt his other position by the window, which is perched on the edge of the bed, kind of leaning off, elbows on knees. And after she has taken in a full breath and exhaled a cloud of smoke, will glance over. Is everything all right, Raya?
Just, you look over, there'll be a little bit of a satisfied smile on his face, but he just seems to be very deep in contemplation. Just running through everything.
I hope it wasn't too close a thing. Your mission.
Looked fairly hairy now at one point, not gonna lie. There's a few moments where we were sprinting down a moon bridge with silver being shot at us.
A bit of a wince there. Just a little sympathetic, like, ugh.
There's a lot of things we saw in there. Kind of look down, takes a drag of the cigarette, but we did it. We did it.
May I see, Raya?
See what?
What you saw.
Crane his head. Why?
Perhaps I can help identify some of the things that you came across.
I already have the others looking into that at the meetings. But I can show you what it was like, but only fleeting images. I'd rather not think about it too long.
She kind of gets a... There's a sense of hesitation there. I hope not the whispering.
There was whispering. It affected all of us. But we remained strong.
Yeah, she actually recoils a little bit at that.
There were some people there as well, being sacrificed. They died in the resulting blast, but there was nothing we could do for them. To save any of them, we would have given ourselves away.
No. No, you couldn't have.
I know. It was just harder for some other people, but it's always kind of... People like to think that they want to save everybody, but it's never an easy call to make.
The mission was paramount, right?
He doesn't say this without any amount of hauntedness in him. It's just, it was a tough decision. You kind of get that impression, but he seems quite assured of himself.
No, necessary sacrifice.
Saw my father in there.
Her glance up is almost a twitch, really. And she'll actually cough as she sputters midway through and inhale.
Calling out to me, saying it was all right. I could see him again if I just let go of it all. Do you know what I told him?
And she presses her lips together as he begins to speak on his father, and will actually kind of unconsciously reach out after his hand, looking to take a grasp of it.
He told me that I would lose everything, and I told him I had lost everything already. The one person I would let go for, well, she's gone. I didn't hear her in there. He almost seems relieved at that.
Yeah, she actually looks a little puzzled herself. I wonder why.
Perhaps the worm doesn't know me as much as it thinks it does. He'll say with a slight smile on his face.
Perhaps so, Raya.
Perhaps it's expecting me to buckle at the mention of my father, as I would have done. But I've avenged my father. I still want to settle things with the organization that hurt him. But I avenged my father and I honored his memory.
You did.
But yeah. It was like that trip to Malpheus. Same type. Only Malpheus was far worse. Far worse. I was only a Cleith then. Smiles. Fresh. Straight back from the Amazon.
I've
Been
heard
only on
that
the
you
sept
see...
about a week.
I've heard that you see terrible things in Malpheus.
You touch her face. You see that your worst visions come to life. And the horrors of every failing you've ever had. And you hear voices telling you it's all right. No one who went in there came back out the same guru again.
She won't do it enough to get out from under the hand, but she does shrink a little when the fingers lay on her face while he's saying that. Another place, then, that is not safe for me to go. If anything, she looks a little guilty over it.
Strokes her cheek. Suppose everyone else is having the time of their lives and look at me. Look out the window, smoking a cigarette. So it means I am getting really old then.
You just have the burden of knowing, Raya. It makes anyone feel old. Far beyond their years.
I brought them home.
You did. You did well. Were any of you even injured?
William might took a bit of a bump, but we healed him. Few of us got shot at, but there was nothing serious. In fact, strategy worked perfectly. Almost, just like almost in the haze. That Aiden to be like as confident as fuck, but he seemed so amazed that he pulled it off.
Of course it worked. Raya, you prepared in every way that you possibly could. And I'm sorry again that the chiminage was so tedious to retrieve.
He'll lift up his hand. It doesn't matter about that. I don't care about that now. I'm glad to be alive. Never mind. Tonight, I don't care about wrongdoings or whatever. Not tonight. I'll tell you something. There was that moment there when I took that tailing off everybody. And I walked forward. And if they struck me down then and there, I would have been fine. Because I had no fear. It's a strange feeling, 10 Point. To be so calm.
Raya.
To be so calm in the face of death. To be so ready. Not that I was wanting to die. But I was ready to face whatever came for me.
And she reaches up again for the hand that's been on her face.
It's almost as if it gave me strength to do it.
Don't be too ready, Raya.
I don't mean that I wanted to die, 10 Point. I mean, we stood in the face of death. And there. My hand didn't shake. It was steady. It was collected. It's the calmest I've ever been in my life. It was a weird feeling, that's all. I'm not saying I'm looking to die or anything, any of that shite. I'm just saying I felt focused. I felt me again.
And while there's a measure of understanding, there's still a clear kind of anxiousness that she can't help. I see, Raya.
And people will look out at me and judge me. People will say things about me. But in that moment, myself, William, Felix, Raphael, Dallas. I felt right, do you know?
Of course it did. You were surrounded by capable people, right?
Something to do with that. At that moment, all the animosity we had, everything we've had, didn't matter anymore. We were all there for a single purpose.
It never does in the field.
But even after, we all hugged each other, arm in arm. Camaraderie.
I do not know Raphael well, Rhea, but the rest, they are our friends and our allies. It was as it should be.
William White-End. Well, he wasn't at first. I wasn't at first, but do you know he nearly fell off that boom bridge and I grabbed him? It was me.
Of course it was. I know that there was a time where you were both bitter, where you were both hurting, but you were still brothers once. It doesn't go away, Rhea.
Wanted to do 10 point. He kind of leaned forward. Almost with this, like, his eyes seem alive. You know what I mean? He seems really happy. I wanted to walk right up to Jacob Clay, throw down my shillelagh right in front of him and go, there's division, Jacob Clay. There's your evidence you want. How I'm such a divisive person.
He gets to watch the comical process of her starting to just bristle visibly.
Well, in the end, I realized no smile. I was never a threat to anybody. My brashness, my ways weren't pushing people apart. Some were, yes, but in the end, it was no threat to the Sept. It was a threat to him.
Whether or not the members of this sept can bear to hear the truth is not on your shoulders. What's on your shoulders is giving it to them. What they do with it, that is up to them.
Exactly. Why should I care if Jacob Clay glares at me on missions? Because right now... Oh, I saw him. The one yesterday. He'll smile. Because right now... Aiden Lynch Krause won that victory. With my team. My friends. Together. I did that.
You did.
I think that should be what I bring to the right master. Nothing else matters, I don't think. That single fact.
You've done much good.
Shows my all. Just look down and smile.
You've had the mission. You've broken through to Dallas. You've done many a good thing, Raya, since speaking to the right master. She tilts her head a bit, thoughtfully, and he can feel kind of a mental pushing. Is he shielded at all?
Nope.
Yeah, she just kind of presses forward and in mentally, as if trying to assess something. And since we've spoken to him, not a movement, not a twitch from the thing in your belly. Not once.
The anger's still there, yes. I can feel it. But I don't know.
The
Maybe I'm
barks don't
stupid.
tear at you like they did, Raya.
He'll nod. Yeah, that's about all right.
It's progress. It's measurable progress. It can't be denied. Not even by the right master.
He'll lean back. And our next issue, I'm afraid, well, we'll see what happens with Dallas.
But is that telling to Dallas, or is it telling on the right, or on the border?
Who knows? It all depends on what happens at that meeting, I think. But he can't deny one thing and one thing only. That was twinkle in his eye. She'll walk up to 10 Point, actually putting his hands on her hips and kind of pulls her right into him, so she's right against his chest.
She'll get a little wide-eyed.
He'll look down at her. He told me he didn't expect me to see me again. That it was a suicide mission.
And what do
And
you
look what
expect him?
happened.
And what do you expect him to say now, Raya?
Nothing. I expect everyone else to say that the Seekers and Tamer of Dragons just handed the Sept the first real initiative to push back.
And she's kind of awkwardly glancing up at him, but will eventually kind of bow her head. Don't forget, you were second two in the first push. I'm going to recover our friends, our allies. You've been very much a part of this, Raya. It can't be denied.
We'll see. Though I suspect certain members will chastise me, but right now I don't give I could give less a shit. And honestly, you look out and some people are probably drinking and partying and having a lot of fun. Honestly, I just want to lie down for the night.
She, as he's looking out, looks finally back up. Like properly looking him in the face. What could they possibly find fault in, Raya? In all the actions you've taken since this started, where could they possibly point out a failing?
People always find fault when it comes to me, I've noticed. The Striders especially. But right now they don't matter.
The Striders will learn to mind their own business, Raya.
Doesn't matter. Not tonight. We can work on that tomorrow. Right now, I'm just glad to be alive.
being held in as she is, she kind of awkwardly reaches over and puts out the butt of her cigarette. And then again goes in, much as she did when he first came back. I mean, she's already being held right up against him, so yeah, she just gets her arms back around him, tightly pulls him into a hug.
You can go out and party with the rest of them if you want. I'm going to stay in here.
No, I'm happy in here with you.
All right, then. And he will pick her up, place her gently down the bed, and just plop himself down, really. And literally 10 Point will notice within about 5 minutes he's gone. Out like a light.
Yep. She plops down next to him, curls up much as usual. We'll probably do as she normally does, sink into teddy bear mode almost instantly, giving off just consistent pulses of safety, comfort, care. And we'll continue that until he very prompt-like dozes off. We'll follow suit. And I dare say with that, I can say thank you, players, for playing. Thank you, watchers, for watching. See you next time on the Living World of Darkness. Rage across New York. Hey, Gear.